Good morning, Cathy. Thanks for joining us on Business Owner Spotlight. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Let us all know about what you do.
Okay, my name is Cathy Davey, and I am a mindfulness coach and the founder of Ambest. So Ambest is a company I have formed to teach other people about the benefits of mindfulness, particularly mindfulness stress reduction, helping people to deal with their stresses, through deal with their anxieties and depression through using their internal coping mechanisms, just teaching them how to bring them out and to live how in bringing those out we can live much more mindfully.
Excellent. And how did you get into this business?
Well, I was introduced to mindfulness through a mentor over 10 years ago, and have been practicing mindfulness personally myself. Started getting into some mindfulness in the workplace and leadership. And then I decided that I wanted to share the benefits of mindfulness with many other people. So I decided to leave my very secure and promising career in banking and set up my own business, mindfulness, Ambest, to share that with everyone.
Fantastic. So it's through your own personal development then that you've and your passion for this that you've set up the business. And who would be your ideal customer? Who would you think would be best suited to avail of your product or service?
It spans through everyone really, because everyone can bring mindfulness into their life, from whether they're a child, which my own children are practicing mindfulness, and they're 5 and 8. Right through to my oldest customer is 80, and it's a broad spectrum. Everybody faces challenges in life. Everybody could perhaps learn to deal with those challenges in life that little bit more to bring that balance and stability, that clarity into their life, that less reactive and impulsive way of life to a more strategic responding way. You have a choice. You can control what happens next, but sometimes we just jump into things, and it's teaching people how to take that step back and observe what's happening in their life and make that choice. And I do that through combination of teaching them the theory of mindfulness, but also mindfulness meditations. Okay,
so it's the theory behind it, and then some practical things to actually to implement it then?
Mindfulness is all experiential learning. So you can get as many textbooks as you want, but you have to actually experience it. And a lot of the experiential learning is actually through the mindfulness meditations.
And what's the benefit? Is it like a stress reduction, or you mentioned strategy there?
Yeah, it's primarily the program that I mainly teach is mindfulness-based stress reduction. Program that was designed by John Kabat-Zinn in America in 1979 and is taught throughout the world. So that's the principle, and it's about just helping people deal with all of the challenges of life. You say to people, what do they want in life? They want less stress in their life. They want calmness. They want to be able to enjoy life. And sometimes we are just so busy that we just don't take the time to look after ourselves and actually say to ourselves, what's going on right now? Because a lot of what's happening is there's a lot of chatter in our heads, and we keep going with the chatter, and the body's doing one thing, and the chatter in the head and the mind and thoughts are taking us somewhere else, and we're very much not aligned. And with mindfulness, it's about bringing the two of them into line and noticing what's happening in the body and in the mind at the time, and just observing what's going on. And sometimes we take things for granted and we don't appreciate what's right in front of us until we reflect back.
Yes, if we even ever spend the time to reflect back. Yes, it sounds like you're describing my my daily routine at the minute. So what, I know you're not in business that long, right? But what would you say is the biggest challenge you've faced trying to get the business going and get off the ground?
Just getting out there and reaching people to mindfulness. People have heard of mindfulness through the pandemic. It became a word, and people started to get introduced to it, which is absolutely wonderful. But really, it's just getting people to understand that this is something that it's a life skill. It's like teaching someone to swim, then they will always be able to swim.
Yeah.
You know, after that, it is by teaching people how to cope with stressful situations and depression and anxiety, and knowing that whenever that happens, that you have those more resilience in you, and you have coping mechanisms within yourselves that we don't have to pay for, and we don't have to go anywhere to get them. They are inside us, and we can bring them out exactly whenever we need them. So it's about teaching people how to bring those out whenever we need them, but also just to it's a way of being. So changing from, we're very much human doers, we're always having to do, and to teach people, you know, we have to be human beings. We can just be. We can take time. It's not bad to take time for yourself and just do, you know, a 10-minute meditation. Don't feel guilty to take 10 minutes for yourself. You know, as simple as that.
It makes a lot of sense. It really does. And people are too hard on themselves, just don't give themselves that time.
Actually, one of my customers said, "Is that not me being selfish? Is that not me, you know, taking time for myself?" And I said, "No, that's actually taking time for you to nourish yourself, to find out what you need, and on what your mind and what your body needs to look after yourself."
Yeah, no, it definitely makes a lot of sense. And what about you then? What about you know, you've sort of described this, you know, taking this massive leap, and it probably feels like leaping off a cliff and to leave the security of your previous career in the corporate world and go out on your own. What has it taught you about yourself?
That I can, you know, if once I put my mind to something, I can achieve whatever I put my mind to. So this is something that I have always wanted to do for many years, and just I'm like, you can do it, and thinking, right, go do it, go show people. And the reward is whenever at the end of the program that people say how much it has transformed them. That is the recognition that I just say, yes, you're doing the right thing. You're doing this. It's not just a business, but it's helping people, and helping people that once they leave that course after those 8 weeks, they will have this with them for the rest of their life to help them. So it's been challenging, but it feels rewarding whenever you hear of the difference it is making in people's lives.
Yeah, so it's more difficult, it's totally worth the effort.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that you were introduced to mindfulness from a mentor. So who would you say has been the best coach you've ever had, and why would you say that?
So it was one of my former directors in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So he was always sort of pushing me from a personal development within my career, but also a personal development within, you know, outside of work. And he was the first person who introduced me to mindfulness and to the Power of Now, the Eckhart Tolle book. And it was through that then that I developed my mindfulness. But it was, he always said to me, don't fear anything. Don't let fear stop you doing something. You got to go for it and just feel the fear. And I think through that, always having that in the back of my head, going, you know, you just got to feel the fear and just go for it, which given me the incentive to say, yeah, that it'll be worth it. Just go and do it.
And obviously, you know, you mentioned The Power of Now, that book. Have you picked up any favorite quotes or sayings from when you were studying about mindfulness?
Yeah, well, this was a book that was given to me by a colleague whenever I actually left the bank. And it's the book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. I don't know if it's a lovely caricature book.
Okay.
It's you know, for children and adults alike. But one of the quotes in it, which is my favorite one, is most of the old moles I know wish they had listened less to their fears and more to their dreams. So a colleague had given me the book and a lovely picture of it, and it's what I look at every day. You know, whenever you get that, oh goodness, can I do this? And I look at that quote every day and I say, yes, you can do this.
Yeah, brilliant. And what does the future look like for Ambest then? And what do you think the main challenges are moving forward?
I think it's going to be very optimistic. Basically, I see it that I'm able to reach people as individuals, but organizations and in the workplace, bringing that mindfulness to them and helping them to work through their work challenges and their home challenges. Challenges for me is just getting out and reaching people, and because I said it's experiential learning, you can only tell people so much. They have to actually come and experience it, even if it's a taster session. And once people experience in a taster session and can see the calmness that it brings to them, enlighten them in what's available to them, then that, the power of that and that experiential learning, just reaching the people is the biggest challenge, really.
Yeah. But once you reach them and can demonstrate it, the possibilities are endless. Fantastic. And sorry, go ahead.
Like it is so powerful listening to people after they've been through the program. The confidence it's brought them, a transformational way of life. They seem to enjoy life much more, and they're so surprised at themselves at how they can deal with situations in a different, more sort of empowering way. Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. I'm sold. We'll definitely be having a chat after this. Just to finish up then, if you could go back and speak to yourself when you were 18, what piece of advice would you give an 18-year-old Cathy?
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, get outside your comfort zone.
You just have to experience it. You learn to deal with whatever life throws at you. But go for it, have your dreams and ambitions and go for them. I have all my life, my aspirations throughout my career. I just went for it. But outside my comfort zone at times and felt the fear, but after the reward, the success, the feeling of achievement after it is what keeps me going.
Totally worth it. Well, listen, look, thank you so much for getting involved and sharing your story. I really enjoyed it, and it's genuinely we'll have to have a chat. I want to find out a bit more about it. But look, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Scott.